Hey guys, it's Shaunie and this is the Girl Take Note podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This week, I really wanted to just come on and just have a conversation with you guys. It's not really like this week. I don't really have a particular topic that I want to talk about. And I don't have a particular structure that I want the show to go either, right? I just know that I just want to have a conversation. I want to talk about just some of the things that I've been facing the past few weeks and see if anyone else probably is going through some stuff. So I guess you can say this show might be about how do we deal with adversity? How do we deal with issues or problems that we face in our life, in our relationships, in our marriages, at work or whatever it may be? How do we face those adversities? And so this week, the past few weeks have been very challenging for me. And it's challenging for me because, marriages have their ups and downs, right? You have your good times, your bad times, your peaks and your valleys. And I feel like right now, I'm with my husband are going through like the valley, right? We're not at a peak, we're at a valley. And sometimes when you go through things in your relationship, it can play out in every aspect of your life. Where other things might just be fine, like shit can be really good in other places, but when your relationship is kind of in a little turbulence, you feel like your whole fucking life is off. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I've been feeling like. And, this is my favorite time of the year. I fucking love the holiday season. I love decorating my house for the holidays. As you can see, for those who are watching on YouTube, I have a mini tree here in the studio. It's so crazy. I have a bigger tree next to me that you guys can't even see. I have 5 trees in my house. And I'm already putting things up, and I do it because no matter what I'm going through, it brings me joy. It makes me happy to start seeing the lights, the trees, the ornaments, playing the music, just really having a spirit of hope and joy. And so that's really how I'm trying to face the issues that I'm going through in my marriage. And, marriage is just, we all have our issues. Nobody can tell you. Don't ever let nobody say and tell you that they have the perfect fucking marriage, because that's a lie. If they do have a good marriage, it's because they worked at it. That's just what that shit is. Marriage is work, and you're going to go through the bad times and you're going to go through the good times. But this shit is till death do us part. That's how I feel about it. And so when I go through things with my husband, and it throws me off sometimes, and I have to understand that me and my husband, we have the same goal here. We love each other. Our marriage is our top priority. And so we're trying to focus on that. And so what I'm trying to do is make sure that we're good as a couple. We're taking the steps that we need to fix whatever we feel is broken or whatever we feel communication is off. Because a lot of time in marriage, I feel like it's just communication. Sometimes we're not communicating the best to each other, or either we're just not being our best selves to one another. You know what I mean? And we can come off maybe sometimes, I don't know, just being arrogant or ungrateful or not considerate or not having empathy, things like that. And it's just so crazy how you can love someone so much, but then you can look at them at the same time and be like, man, I can't stand your ass. It just blows my mind. And I have talked about this with numerous friends of mine who are married and been married for years. And they've all been there too. It's always been that thing of like, hey, I love him, but sometimes I can't stand his ass either. And that's just marriage. And not even just marriage. This goes for people who are in relationships, like long-term relationships, that you've been with your partner for a long time. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know that sometimes you go through, you have some good times, you have some bad times that you have to face together. And you say to yourself, you know what? We in this shit for life, and we gonna get through this no matter what. And both parties have to be on board with that. But I think sometimes when people come out and publicly discuss their marriages, people can crucify them and criticize them so harshly, you know what I mean? As if they never been through anything in their marriage. And so I just wanted to share that, these past few weeks, we've been really going through this valley and fighting through, whatever issues we're facing. But I just wanted to share that because I think when I speak about it out loud and not just kind of keep it within myself or keep it within my circle, I feel like it just kind of releases it from me. It releases it. It gives me an air of hope, an air of faithfulness, and just being able to wake up early in the morning. So what I've been doing lately for the past few weeks is just waking up early in the morning, praying, really spending time with God on my own and really immersing myself in God, in the word, and prayer. And I think that's the reason why I believe things are shifting, because being a woman of faith, you know what I'm saying? Listen, let's just say I curse. Yes, I do. I probably would curse your ass out if I need to, but don't ever think that I'm not a woman of faith, that I don't know God, because I know God. He knows me. We've had a relationship for a long time. We real cool with each other. Okay. And I'm blessed and highly favored. But at times I think we go through life and we forget to spend time with God. And I think that's what I did. And I feel like every time I'm going through something, it's because I didn't spend time with God like I was supposed to. I didn't spend time in prayer. I didn't spend time just being with us, me and God, just together, And so I've been getting up early in the morning before everyone else. And I've been spending time with God, praying and just really reflecting and asking him to lead me through this, to lead us both through this. Because when I'm praying, I'm not only praying for myself, I'm praying for my marriage, I'm praying for my husband. And I pray for everyone around me, honestly. But I know as married people, we know what challenges we face sometimes. And not all of us go through the same stuff in our marriage. Not all of us face financial infidelity or, whatever, miscommunication. We all face different things in our marriages, right? Different giants that we have to fight. So it's not all the same, but at the same time, the goal is the same, because the goal is to have a strong, joyful, loving, and caring and happy marriage. That's always the goal. And so I wanted to share that because I just really wanted to get that off my chest. I feel like I've been carrying that shit and I haven't been able to really speak about it publicly because I've been trying to just figure out, like, God, just lead me in terms of which way we should go. How do we fix this? How do we fix this issue? How do we fix these issues that we may be facing, this miscommunication that we're in, or just this trying time that we're in? And I know a lot of people can relate to this. When you go through that time, that hardship, and how do you deal with adversities? How do you deal with hardship? And for me, sometimes initially it is to be silent and not say anything and not tell anyone what I'm going through, because I think a lot of time we are afraid to tell people what we're going through in our lives because we are afraid of judgment. And I mean, like, come on, let's just be real. Motherfuckers out here are judgy. They are judgy. People are judgy. People will judge your ass. That's why you have to be very careful about who you tell your business to. You have to be careful about who you share with, because people will judge you. And so I think that's really why a lot of people don't share the intimate parts of their life with people, especially people publicly. It's like a lot of people are not going to share all their business publicly. We have some people put all their shit on social media for the world to see. And then you have those people who are not going to do that. You know what I mean? Who are going to handle whatever they need to handle privately, and it doesn't have to be a public thing. And so for me, with handling adversity is to be silent and just kind of see what I'm dealing with. You know what I mean? Try to understand what it is and try to get to like that root, the core, the root of the problem. Because sometimes a lot of it is just surface and there's something much deeper that we're dealing with that we're just not tapping into. And that's what counseling and therapy comes into play. And what's so crazy? I'm going to have a show about therapy, meditation, you know what I mean? Because I think it's so important in our lives, in our relationships, that we normalize therapy. Because even in a time like today where so many people, found such great things with therapy, I still think people still have a certain stigma on it for some reason, as if, oh, well, something must be wrong with you if you have a therapist. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with anyone. It's okay to talk to someone else outside of your circle, someone who's unbiased to your situation, to whatever you may be facing in your life, to get a different perspective and to help maybe you work through it. So I don't see nothing wrong with counseling, especially when you're married. I feel like it's 100% something that you need, because you need to know how to fight fairly. You need to understand how to communicate properly. And when you're facing things that the two of you cannot handle alone, that's where therapy comes into play. And so for me, like I said, I'll be silent. I will see what's happening around me, because I'm not gonna lie. Back in the day when I used to deal with issues before I got married, like deal with issues with boyfriend, I'll be explosive. I can get explosive. You know what I mean? And I understand that being explosive doesn't always work. Being explosive doesn't always get you to what you truly want. And I think that's something we have to understand when we're dealing with adversity. It's like, what is your goal here? What is the outcome that you want here? Right? What is it that you're really trying to achieve? And so that's one of the things I had to ask myself when I'm going through something. I get silent. I ask myself, okay, what is the outcome you're trying to achieve with this? What is it that you really want your husband to know, or whomever I may be in a situation with, you know what I mean? And maybe in some type of disagreement with. What is it I want this person to know? One, if it's someone close to me, like my husband or a friend, I want them to know, one, that I love them. That's number one. So whatever I say, whatever I'm doing it with love, right? So I want them to know that I love them. And two, I want them to know that we can get to the opposite end of this together. And so that's probably the first two things that I do, is that I be silent and I think about what my outcome is. And then I think about how to approach it. What are the right things to say here? Because sometimes I think we go through certain issues in our life and we don't know how to fix it. We don't know how to approach it. We don't know what to say to it. And then that's when we have to seek counsel, you know what I mean? From our girlfriends, from our parents, from whomever you may get that counseling from. I think that's when we have to seek that person to say, hey, I'm going through something and I need help communicating it to the person that I need to address it with. But I want to make sure that I don't come off being judgmental. I want to lead with love, and I want to get to the right result. And that's where you have to definitely get someone to kind of help you through that. Because in life, sometimes things can get explosive. Like I said, I've been explosive before, and it didn't get me the outcome that I was looking for. And so I want to be able to do things differently. Especially when you're married, you really have to handle things differently, because, you know, when you're dating someone and you don't live with them, you could be mad and be like, you know what? I'm going to my own house. I don't have to stay around your ass. When you marry, oh my God, that motherfucker is sleeping right next to you that same night. And you're laying there like, oh my God, why is he next to me? Or either he's laying there saying, oh my God, why is she saying, like, why is she laying next to me? Why am I here right now? And so that's the thing about marriage. It's like, we don't go into our own homes. We're in the house. This is our home. And we have to face this shit, and we have to deal with each other, and we have to figure it out. That's just how it is. And that's when I think one of the hardest things I had to learn being married is that I can't just get up and go to my own house when I'm mad with him. I have to deal with his ass right here, right now, no matter what. You know what I mean? Even though I might love him, I still have to deal with him, right? And so that's one of the hard parts, I think, is when you're having maybe some issues with your spouse or your significant other, and you got to be in the house with them. But at the same time, you want to be in the house with them because you want to work things out. You want to get to a resolve. You want to solve it. You want to get to peace and joy and happiness and love. You want to get back to that, right? And so I think that's one of the things we have to think about. And I think just taking steps to your end goal. I think that if you think about what you really want out of this issue you may be facing, and I think once you think about what you want the end result to be, then you can take the steps toward getting that end result, versus if you just explode and you're not really sure how you wanted this to end. And then now it's too late because you've exploded and everything is like ruined. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to take a lot of work to get that shit back. But if we think about, okay, how do I want this to play out? What I want out of this situation? And if I think about the end result that I want, then I could take the right steps to get it. But listen, I get it. You may be thinking to yourself, well, shit, sometimes I don't have time to think about no end result. Sometimes he did something, she did something I don't like, and it's just time. It's just go time. Like, I'm trained to go, TTG, right? And so, and I understand that method because, look, I've done that shit myself numerous times. You know what I'm saying? My husband can tell you, I've done that numerous times. But sometimes you have to do things differently to get a different outcome. And that's what I've been learning too a lot, is that I need to do things differently in order to get a different outcome. And that's kind of like where I'm leading to this. But how do you face adversities? How do you get through them? You know, we lean on our faith. For those of us who are Christians, whatever your religion may be, but we lean on our faith too to get us through it, because we know God can get us through all things, no matter what they are. And all things work together for the greater good of our lives, good or bad. If you think about the things you've been through in your life and you think about where you are today, you will say to yourself, you know what? Although I didn't want that person to leave my life, although that was a difficult situation that I went through, God, I'm so much better because of it. I'm so much better on this end of it. I survived it. I lived through it. I was able to get over this broken heart that I thought I would never be able to get over. And I was able to get over, and not only get over, I was able to find new love that was greater than what I thought I ever had. And so I just feel like, we all face adversity differently. We all deal with it differently, but we need to find a place of peace. And I've been seeing a lot lately on social media, and everybody's talking about, protecting my peace. And I get that, because peace is so important when you truly have it, right? Because I think peace probably looks different for everybody. I don't know if peace all looks the same for everyone. For peace, for some people, it could just be being with themselves, just really working on themselves. Peace for others can mean being more active, being creative. That brings people peacefulness. So it's just like meditation brings some people peacefulness. I, for one, it's very hard for me to meditate, because I feel like when I meditate, my mind wanders and I don't know how to control my thoughts at times. But yet when I pray, my mind settles, which is so weird, which is different. So peace can be so many different things for everyone, but peace is definitely a goal to have in life, is to have a peaceful life. And I don't think it's just about peace. I think it's about joy. I think people forget joyfulness, having a joyful life. Joy is mentioned so much in the Bible, if you think about it. And it's something I think we miss. I think we're always like, oh, I want to be happy and I want peace in my life, but you want joy in your life as well. Your life can be peaceful and joyful as well. And that's what goes back to when I talked about in episode 1, when I talk about my bonus episode, is that what are the things that bring you joy in your life? And I think when we're going through something, we have to think about the joyful things, right? Because with me going through my adversity and what I'm facing, doing this podcast right here, right now, and delivering this and staying committed to this brings me joy even through hard times. I think for me, I've always been a person that even though I face adversities, even though I may be facing some difficult times, I never forget to laugh. I never forget to enjoy moments. And I think a lot of that just has to do with my faith, because at the end of the day, I know God is going to change it, and I know he's going to work it in my favor. That's just something I just know so much in my soul, that I'm going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We're facing this right now, but we're going to be so much better for it, and we're going to be okay. We're going to get through it. We're going to get over it. We're going to move past it, and it's going to be so much better on the opposite end. Whatever God's will, it will be done. That's one thing I know for sure. And so I still like to enjoy joyful moments, even through hardship. I believe we have to do that. If we don't have joyful times and seek joy, even during hard times, that's where we fall into a depression, because our mind begin to wander to those dark thoughts. It began to wander to those dark thoughts. And those dark thoughts is what puts you in a depression. It's what puts you in a state of mind of telling yourself that what you're going through is never going to change. Nobody's there for you. You're not good enough. You never was good enough. He's never going to choose you. She's never going to be with you. You're just not the kind of person they want. You know what I mean? Like, those are those thoughts that can creep up in your mind, and that can really tear your soul apart. And so I would encourage you to just seek joyful times, even during your hard times. I don't care what it is. It could be just you getting up and making yourself a cup of coffee, because maybe the coffee brings you joy when it hits your mouth. I don't know, something that excites your palate. That could be joyful. We have to push through dark times in our lives. We have to push through adversities. We have to push through hardships. I've had plenty of hard times in my life, where I had to push through, but I never lost my joyful moments. I never lost that. I still had times like, it's so funny how I could be going through some real shit. Just like right now, I'm going through some stuff and people won't even know, because it's not that I'm masking my pain or my hurt. It's that I choose to indulge in the joyful times because I know what I'm facing, and I know I take what I'm facing and I take it to God in prayer. And so, but I can still come out here today and be like, hey, here I am, the girl taking no podcast. Let's do this. Let's get on this. I just felt like today, I felt like sharing that because I feel like sharing it because I'm like, one, I want my voice to be used to help other people, right? And I know I'm just not the only person that go through hardship or that's facing adversity. I'm just going through something even right now and needs to know and be encouraged. Because that's what we want. When we're going through hardship, we want to be encouraged. We don't want to be beat down. You want to be encouraged, right? You want to be encouraged by the people around you, just speaking life into you, speaking encouragement into you, because that's the thing you need to help build you up. No matter what the outcome may be, maybe you lost your love. Maybe it didn't turn out the way you thought it was. And that's okay. That's really okay. But you still want those encouraging words around you. You still want people around you that's going to encourage you to still be your best, to get up, because God is not done with you yet. He ain't done with you. He got so much more for you. There's so much greater things in your life ahead of you than for you to sit in that dark place, thinking those dark thoughts to yourself, not knowing how great and how fucking awesome you really are. That's what I want everyone to know. Like, listen, I tell myself this too. Look, I'm the shit, right? I am the shit. I don't care what nobody say. You have to speak life into yourself. You have to speak those type of things into yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, if you don't support yourself, if you don't encourage yourself, then who else will? That's what I've learned over my life. Is that I have to be my number one advocate. I have to be my number one cheerleader. I can't sit around and wait for friends or family members to be the ones that cheer me on. I have to do that shit for myself first. If I really want to see change in my life, if I want to see a situation change, I have to encourage myself. I have to pray through things. I have to be joyful at times where it's so fucking hard in life. But I still have to be joyful. I still have to be happy. And I think those are the important parts we have to remember when we're going through something. But like I said, I thought about things that I've been through in my life before, and I've overcome some greater things. So no matter what I'm facing in life, I know that I'm going to be okay through that too. Like, I just know it. I know I'm going to be okay through no matter whatever I'm going through. And I want you to know that you're going to be okay. And I want you to know that it doesn't matter what it is, how big it is, how hard it may seem. Because when you're going through shit, I know when you're going through stuff, it seems like you're never going to get out of it. It seems like nothing is ever going to change for you. But you see, that's the lie. That's the lie that the devil wants you to believe, or just that's the lie that you don't believe, because we will say that shit to ourselves when it's not the truth. You're going to come out of this. You're going to move past it. It's going to be better. You have to believe it to be better. You have to want it to be better. And you have to see joyful times in your life, even through this hard shit. Be happy. Smile. I don't care. Get up. Take a shower. Go for a walk. Go for a run. Call a friend. Do whatever you got to do to make yourself laugh. You know what I mean? To take you out of that moment of unhappiness. Because you deserve it. You deserve to be happy. I deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy. We all deserve happiness in our lives. None of us are exempt from happiness. We all deserve it. We're all put on this earth to be happy and to love one another. That's what we're put on this earth to be. And that's what we're put on this earth to do. And I know at times it can be hard to do it, but we have to push through. No matter what, we have to push through it. So I just want to come on here today, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Like I said, when I came on, I didn't have a particular topic. I just wanted to share kind of what I've been dealing with. And it turned into this whole thing about adversity. And it's crazy because that's all it is. But this too shall pass, like everything else did. And you know what thing is that I'm thankful for this show, because I'm thankful that I'm able to, have this conversation, put it out there, let others like yourselves listen to it, and know that we're all in this together and we all going to get through this together. And know that, if you're going to face any hardship, if you face any hardship now, or if you face any hardship in your life, then you have something to go back to and listen to help you get encouraged, to understand that, man, we all go through shit in life. Nobody relationship is perfect, no matter what social media tells you. Nobody marriage is perfect, no matter what social media tells you. We need to stop looking at other people's lives and thinking our lives are supposed to be that way. Looking at other people's relationships and, relationship goals and marriages, thinking our marriages are supposed to be that way, because it's not the truth. We don't know what they go through behind the scenes. And some people have wonderful marriages, but trust and believe, it took work for them to get there, And so I encourage everyone, as I sit here and I talk to you guys, I encourage myself to get through my difficult time. And this is therapy for me, coming on here and talking. It's therapy for me to be able to release it and to feel like, you know what, a weight has been lifted off my shoulder, because I know other people be able to relate to this. So let's just stay encouraging each other. Let's just continue to live a good time. Like I said, it's the holiday season. This is my favorite time of the year. And I love this time of the year. My spirits really lift during this time of the year. No matter if I'm not going through anything or not, my spirits just really lift throughout this time of the year. And I understand that sometimes the holiday season can be, just not the best time for most people, and we pray for those people who can't have a great time throughout this time of the year. But it's this time of the year. It's Christmas. I'm excited about the spirit of gift giving, family coming together, decorating. I'll be putting up all my decorations, and I'll be throwing all the images and videos on my social media page. So make sure you guys follow the Girl Take No Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. And because you'll see everything throughout the holiday season in terms of everything that I'm doing with these trees and just the family and the onesies and everything that we do throughout this time of the year, because it's so joyful and it's just such an amazing time for us. And so, and I want it to be an amazing time for you. So come along and share this time of the year with us as we share it with you. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I am Shaunie Sanders, of course, your host. This is the Girl Take No Podcast, and I will see you guys next time.